And finally, concerns over police controls and the possibility of digital tracking, the political fallout from this new virus, and also some creative juices that redesign movie posters for the COVID era. Our press reviewer Diptyka Laurent has been browsing the newspapers from home and tells us what's dominating the front pages. She starts with the French press.
The French left-leaning paper Libération today is looking at what it calls confined freedom. The pandemic, of course, has allowed authorities to restrict freedom of movement, to allow sometimes arbitrary police checks and possibly even digital tracking. Well, Libération's editor wonders if these measures will indeed disappear post-pandemic or if they'll be, quote, slowly instilled as an authoritarian poison in our social order. Now, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, who quit his campaign on Wednesday, launched a blistering attack on Donald Trump. In today's Guardian, he accuses the U.S. president of acting out of political self-interest. This is the death toll in the U.S. from the COVID-19 pandemic continues to rise. Bernie Sanders calls on U.S. Congress to take over leadership and, quote, show the boldness and courage needed to respond in such a situation. The New York Times, meanwhile, looks at the fate of 1 billion people living in crowded slums around the world who are at risk of being infected. The paper calls on world governments to do more for them, even advocating local partnerships, citing the example of Brazilian gangs who have built hand-washing stalls at the entrances of some favelas. Finally, boredom in confinement has led to some creativity, it appears. One man has decided to recreate iconic movie posters adapted to current pandemic conditions. Amélie Poulain would be therefore wearing a surgical mask if she could get her hands on one. Uma Thurman would still look cool in a mask in Pulp Fiction. And Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise would certainly be socially distancing in Rain Man. You can check out more film posters on the website of the Huffington Post.